Nobody knew that everything was about to change. Nothing ever happens here in Lumbridge. That is, until the Mahjarrat showed up and plunged all we knew into darkness. My name is ChunkQuest, and I'm on a journey to bring Gielinor back to the light. Chunk by chunk, completing tasks will allow us to expel the blight with the ultimate goal of liberating all of Gielinor's major cities. Sure, I get it. Right now, I don't look like much, but one day, I'll be unstoppable. A man can dream, can he? Welcome to ChunkQuest, Descent into Darkness.
Welcome, traveler, to Lumbridge, the last bastion of humanity in a world consumed by darkness. I am Duke Horatio, guardian of this town, and I fear your arrival marks both a blessing and a curse. Beyond the River Lum, these lands are no longer our own. The Mahjarrat, an ancient and malevolent force, has risen once more, casting its shadow over every corner of Gielinor. Lumbridge is all that remains, a flickering candle in a tempest, but our light grows dimmer with each passing day. That's where you come in, ChunkQuest. If we have any hope of expelling this darkness and taking back what is rightfully ours, that responsibility lies on your shoulders. The odds are against us, but the spirit of the citizens of Lumbridge is felt all around. Go now, hero, and bring our world back to the light.
Hello everybody, my name is ChunkQuest. As you may have gathered from the intro, I am on a journey to bring Gielinor back to the light. In order to do so, we're going to need to go on a journey together, chunk by chunk, through the darkened lands of Gielinor. I assume by now most people are aware of what a Chunkman account is. The entire map is broken into square parcels known as chunks. In order to venture into a new randomized chunk, all of the tasks within that given chunk must be completed. In terms of how I will be playing a semi-extreme Chunkman, meaning we will be following the established extreme Chunkman rules, but we will not be required to go for skill capes. To some of you more hardcore chunkers, this might seem like a bit of a cop-out, but in terms of maintaining a regular release schedule for the series, I don't want to get caught up in any grinds that are any longer than they need to be. With that being said, we're still going to have plenty of serious grinds to come. On top of doing no skill capes, like most chunkmen, I will be slightly altering the hardcore rule set. So for secondary training methods, we're taking a page out of Phrasebook and setting our secondary methods at 1 in 16, meaning that, for instance, if a monster drops an iron bar at a 1 in 200 drop rate, we don't have to meme grind for years with that iron bar being our only training method. If that secondary is below a 1 in 16 rate, however, it's not going to be ruled a meme grind and we're good to go. We will also be taking a page out of the Supreme rule set, so if there's an item available in our chunk that is a best in slot item, whether it be best in slot crush defense, best in slot prayer, best in slot skilling equipment, we're going to need to obtain it. And when it comes to pets, we aren't letting any pets get left behind. Except skilling pets. Skilling pets suck.
No thanks.
If a boss has a pet, we will need to obtain it to finish the log and move on. Every chunk account has their own quirk, and it's getting more and more important to stand out as Chunkman mode grows in popularity. Our end goal is to liberate 10 of RuneScape's most iconic areas. Those areas are Lumbridge, Mahjarrat, Falador, Varrock, Canifis, Sophonem, Relica, Gnome Stronghold, Ardoon, and finally Prifdinus. In order to liberate an area, we're going to need to complete every given chunk within the area. Here's Lumbridge, for example. Once the entire city's been liberated, we will earn ourselves one free chunk roll, but instead of it being random, we're going to get to hand select a chunk of our own choosing. But that's enough about my rules. I think it's finally time to get into it. Before we begin, make sure to like the video and subscribe. That's going to do wonders algorithmically for this series early on, but enough of that, let's get into the adventure. Alright, looks like it's time to get started here. Shorts and a crop top, getting ready for summer, clearly. Of course, we're going to start as a hardcore Ironman. We're probably going to lose that eventually. Probably pretty early on. I'm not great at staying alive, I'm not going to lie. But we'll keep it for as long as we can. So we'll talk to the wizard here, and finally, we're going to be leaving Tutorial Island after a huge grind. Probably the biggest one we'll see on the series. Let's go ahead and head over to our new home for the time being. And here we are. We are finally in Lumbridge. It feels like home already, to be honest with you guys. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to head over to the Ironman tutor and just grab our Ironman armor. Feeling like an absolute beefcake in this? Well, look who it is. If it isn't my main, Fanatic. So Fanatic's going to be tossing us over a bond to get started with the account, so thank you very much for that cheeky little bond. Now that we're here in Lumbridge, we can go over some of the items in the chunk. So we've got air and mind runes that we can collect every 30 minutes from the tutors. We've got willow trees that are going to be very useful in our woodcutting and fletching grinds. We've got a lone yew tree down in the swamp, and then we've got some cows to train cooking on. As far as chunk tasks go in our starting chunk, we're going to need to obtain a bronze medium helm from a man at a 1 in 64 rate. We're going to need to wield a mithril weapon, primarily the mithril battle axe from Bob's shop. We're going to need to get 42 cooking to cook fried onions, and we're also going to need to get 60 woodcutting and 60 fire making to both chop and burn a log. Perhaps the most daunting task in this chunk is going to be to fletch, obtain, and wield a yew shield, which is going to take 72 fletching to create. We're going to start off in a way that most accounts do, just pickpocketing some men and women here in Lumbridge. This is going to be a skill task and a diary task for us, so that's great to knock off. We're going to get some early levels here. There's 3 thieving. And 4 thieving. And 5 thieving. We're also going to head over here to the tutor to get a pokey stick and a shield, just something to get us through the early combat grind here. Hey, there's our first random event. Hello, Niles. Let's see if we can get something good from this little gentleman. Boom! Niles gave us some Skrilla. That money's going to be a huge help early on because we're going to head down to Bob's and buy our first steel axe, which is going to carry us through our woodcutting grind. And here is our very first tree cut on the account. Beautiful. So I guess we should probably get used to being here because we're going to be here for quite a bit. Here's a couple of early levels just as we're getting into the woodcutting grind. I won't be the guy to show you guys every single level, but here's a couple just to give you guys a little bit of dopamine flow. Of course, another thing we're going to have to get going here is the fire making because we've got that 60 fire making grind to burn a yew log. So here's a good start to it. 2 fire making. And the next thing we're going to do here is talk to everybody's favorite speedwalker Hands. We're going to figure out our account age for a diary task. While we're here getting some tasks done, we're also going to shear this sheep of its wool. And we'll take this up to the 2nd floor of Lumbridge Castle, give that a spin, and chunk task complete. And with that tree, that's going to bring us up to 10 wood cutting. Remember what I said in the beginning about maybe not keeping our hardcore status for so long? Well, bad news.
Cut my life into pieces!
Hardcore Ironman's for sweat lords anyway, right? There's our first prayer level coming in and also get a combat level. And we just keep beating up these men. There's 5 attack coming in. Gotta show the people of Lumbridge who's boss. Here comes a very important 15 wood cutting. That's gonna allow us to stop clicking on these stupid single trees, and we're gonna be able to move over to the oak trees over here. We're gonna have to do some more regular trees just to get our fletching and our fire making up to par, but yeah, let's chop down a few of these big, beautiful oak trees, and then we'll get back to the task grind. I think, if I remember correctly, the leather boots that we're looking for are down here in the Lumbridge cellar. Where are they? They are... oh, past them. They're actually right back here, so we'll grab those, and that's going to be a chunk task complete. And, you know, the grind never stops. We're back, still terrorizing the people of Lumbridge. I'm getting revenge on this man for taking my hardcore status. Oh! There we go. There's our bronze medium helm, 1 in 64 rate from these men. And actually, we've got a wise old man event, a maze. Let's go. 62% here. That is by far not the best maze I've ever done, but nice to get one done regardless. And we're going to get rewarded with a nature rune, some feathers, and some coins, so not bad. In between the wood cutting, I've been training my combat basically wherever I can, so just taking out some of these goblins. They've actually got a bronze square shield, I think, that we can use before we get the yew shield, so we're going to carry on, keep bopping these bad boys until they go ahead and drop that for us. While we're fletching, we're going to be bringing all of our unstrung bows over to the general store here in Lumbridge. Not only is it a quick way to get rid of them, but it's also going to give us a little bit of a nest egg cash stack to start out with here. Early cash on an Ironman is beyond useful. We do still need to get an egg and a pot of flour drop from imps, but here is the best quest in all of RuneScape started, Cook's Assistant. There we have it, it's bound to happen. Here's our first mistake of the account. As you can see here, we've acquired our Iron Dagger, which is actually our best in slot magic attack bonus at the moment. This is just in the Goblin House on the other side of the chunk. So imps are going to be a big part of the grind as well. We're looking for a couple different things from them. We're looking for an egg, a pot of flour for Cook's Assistant, and then a blue wizard's hat, I think, for... Oh, okay. Okay, there's the blue wizard's hat there. That's our best in slot magic headpiece, which is great. Some more incredible content coming in here. We are still bonking trees, but we're going to bonk this one straight into 25 woodcutting, which is excellent. Now, this is where you're going to understand I'm still pretty new to the chunk scene. Obviously, we get our first genie here, which is great, but go ahead and take a look what we put it on. So we'll grab this, we'll consider Hunter, consider Slayer, all the things we should be putting it in. We're going to go with Fletching. Oh my goodness, so accessible in my chunk. Such a dumb decision. But with that decision out of the way, we're going to head on down to the Lumbridge Church and talk to Father Eric to start Restless Ghost. That's a nice quick one-stepper for us. Now let's go see Bob and give that racist some of our money. Kind of amazing that this guy's managed not to get cancelled here in 2024, but that is going to be our Mithril Battle Axe coming in, thanks to the money we've made fletching. I gotta say, I'm really excited to get into this series. Chunkman is just such a unique beast in the sense that it challenges everything you know about the game and really brings you back to this place of pre-efficiency scape that I think we could all really stand to get back to these days. If you haven't tried it, there's never ever been a better time to get into the Chunkman than right now, really. It's growing so fast. And then with that being said, that is going to bring us up to 30 woodcutting here, which is a great level because that's going to allow us to cut some willows. And that's going to supercharge our fletching training. We've been killing imps that pop up because we still need a pot of flour and an egg for Cook's Assistant. That is not either of those, but it still could be useful to have before we unlock the mill. And so we take those. Anything of use, we go ahead and take. And with a few more passes of the knife here, we're going to end up with 20 fletching, which is a great level because that's going to allow us to make oak short bows, and so we can finally just camp the oaks and we don't have to worry about the individual trees. Well, until we have to go train fire making anyway, so we'll enjoy it while we can. Here's a cool 35 woodcutting coming in. There is 25 fletching, and what that's going to allow us to do is craft oak longbows, giving us the max XP we can get out of a oak tree here for fletching. Now, what's that going to give us now? Ooh, okay, 25 experience. That's going to be huge for our quality of life over here. Continuing to kill imps as we grind, we've finally been rewarded here with a nice 1 in 25.6 egg drop. We still need that 1 in 64 drop of the pot of flour for Cook's Assistant, but honestly, this is a pretty good start. Here's 30 fletching coming in, which means that we can move over to willows whenever we get a chance to, but I don't think it is efficient right off the bat, so we'll probably wait for a little bit. This is going to be another chunk task completed for burning an oak log. We're probably going to grind to 30 fire making here before we move over to the willows. 20 fire making coming in right now, as well as 40 woodcutting, and then 30 fire making, which is going to allow us to burn willows. Now that we have 30 fire making and fletching, we're going to head over to the willows. Hopefully they're not too slow initially here, but if they are, we might bounce back and forth for a bit. 35 fletching, that's going to give us access to willow short bows. We are still bonking imps trying to get that pot of flour and just generally training our combats, right? So, okay. Hope that this cook is ready to be assisted. Short bows go brrrr. If you haven't liked the video and subscribed yet, do it. This is a threat. Here comes 40 fletching. I'm sure that's a big level for some people, but for me here, just another multiple of 10. Now that we have the goods from those imps, we can head back to the chef, and that's all of Cook's Assistant we can do in this chunk. Here comes 50 woodcutting. Gaming confirmed. A big thanks to everybody for staying locked into this incredible tree cutting content. We're a simple man. We cut logs, we fletch logs, we sell logs. Do not worry, folks. We're going to get you back to Logscape in a bit here, but for now, we're going to need to skip across the Lum and kill some goblins. We're not looking for any drops in particular, but we do need 20 attack to wield the Mithril Battle Axe we purchased. Hey, there we go. Second genie on the account. Let's see what I'm going to put it in here. I promise you guys, this is the last time that this is going to happen. It definitely doesn't take long once you get rolling, but here comes 20 attack, and that means we're going to be able to wield our mithril battle axe for a chunk task. Here we go, time to retire the iron dagger, and look at that, or you could if I didn't block it with the tree. Look at that. Looking like a beast. Here's 45 fletching coming in hot, but not quite as hot as that goblin, eh? 55 wood slayer. 50 bowmaker. So guys, I'm having a bit of a change of heart. I should have never picked up this Ironman armor. It's the equivalent of full iron, and I want to start on the ground floor and work my way up. So we're just going to go ahead and destroy it. Looking good. Oh, not very proud of this, guys. Went AFK and missed my first Flippa event. But the good news is the event gods smiled on us again and we got to Bob the Cat. After carefully using our own cooking skills to appease our cat overlord, we're going to be rewarded with a massive fishing boost here. That's the stuff. With all this fletching going on, it's important to remember that we've also got a big 60 fire making grind to work on, which is a great way to mix things up, to be honest. There is level 40 Burning Man. 60 fletching coming in, and that's going to be a big one because we can now start with some of the U stuff. Of course, we need to get to 72 for the U shield, but progress nonetheless. There we go. Here's some redemption for that flip I missed. What did we miss out on? Some rubies? We'll take it. 55 fire making, 5 levels away from our chunk task. There we go. There is the event that straight A students fear. This was filmed prior to the event update, so instead of getting a lamp, we are just going to end up getting the pants for now. Welcome to Random Eventscape. Here's another Bob the Cat. We'll take off and get one of those juicy cooking bonuses again. Let's see what we get up to. Looks like 10? 10 indeed. We're starting to run out of easy tasks here pretty quickly, so we're going to start X marks the spot. I think we can only do the first step or two for now. So let's head on down to Racist Bob's house, and look what we found. Now we'll head behind the castle and grab that locator orb here, but that's all we can do for now. Chunk task complete. Don't mind me just putting in some hard work. And that's weird. I didn't get any reward. At last, we have arrived to 60 fire making. That is going to allow us to burn a U log. We're just going to wait until we can go ahead and go down there and finish all the tasks at the same time, but in the meantime, that is really nice to see. Oh, hey Leo. Nice graves, bro. I need to break things up, so here we are at the cow pen. We're going to be putting in a lot of work here, world hopping as we can't access the pen itself, just the stragglers. As you can see with how much hopping I'm doing here, this is going to be a horrible grind. I really didn't want to mage cows to lure them into my chunk, but if this doesn't get much better, we're going to have to start doing that. What a way to spend my time. I need help. So what the plan is, we get a full inventory of cowhide and beef, and then we head up to this fire up here in the Lubbridge Bank, and it's going exactly like I thought it would. There we go, there's our first. After killing a few more of my bro vines, there's 10 cooking coming in, and yeah, this still sucks. Yeah, it's official. I am going to have to attack the ones outside the chunk with Wind Strike just to lure them right into the chunk. But here we go. Here is a chunk task complete just for casting that, and now in my range. Oh my god, the double. Doesn't look like much, but guys, this is about as good as it gets over here. Now, we probably should have been doing this the whole time, but since we are now using our runes, we're going to head over to the magic tutor, drop our runes, click claim, and we're going to be able to get 30 of each every 30 minutes. Alright, there is 25 strength coming in, and I mean, let's be honest, why does anybody even go to the gym? Baby's first magic level. So proud. Oh, don't mind me, I'm just cooking on the floor, definitely meeting safety regulations. And 15? 15 prayer, too. I gotta say, it's taking a while. I can't wait to unlock something that drops big bones. We're now starting to train our defense a little bit. There is 10. We're gonna need 40 to be able to wield that U shield that we're gonna craft later on. Oh, so we've officially hit a problem. We've hit the hop limit. Let me in! Let me in! Because of that hop limit, you're probably gonna see me bounce back and forth quite a bit, but there is 70 woodcutting. I'll feel a lot better when it's 4-2, but there is 2-5 coming in. The big 3-0. Here's another lamp for us, and guess what? It's not going into fletching. We're going to put that right into Hunter to start for Puro Puro. 30 defense coming in, 10 more, and we can go ahead and wield that U shield. 20 magic. All these casts really add up. Here we are on top of the castle, getting 35 cooking and looking into the vast unknown. For all we know, that could be our next chunk right over there. Fletching is starting to get pretty rough on only unstrung bows, but that's going to bring me in 68. 35 defense coming in, only 5 more until we can stop doing this. Don't look now, but here comes a very nice 69 fletching. Nice. Back at the cows for 25 wizard. 40 cooking, we love those round numbers. Let's go, only a few more left. Speaking of round numbers, here is another one coming in. This is 70 fletching. We've got 2 more levels left. We are so close to getting that U shield. Nice, here's a dunce random, and make no mistake, that is going straight into hunter and not fletching. Very nice, there's our first lamped level. Hey, finally, there we go, there's our first beginner clue, and you know what? We're just gonna freaking send it, one step. Hands, have I ever told you how nice you look in that red shirt? Sad scam game. We are so close to finishing the cow grind at this point. There is 41 cooking, just one final level to go. Oh my god, with this cow it's finally over. We did it. This won't be the largest grind on the account, but with all the banking and the world hopping, I am so happy to be done with this crap. That was a serious grind. Now let's go ahead and take this back to the castle for one final round of cooking. 1,632 cows later. But first, we'll need to grab this onion from the general store and head over. Are you guys ready for this? Not as ready as I am, I'll tell you that much. After days, here we are at 42 cooking. Let's go cook some fried onions. Bowl of onions. There is no better place to do this than sitting on the bridge of Lum. Let's get this done. Huh? Yo, what is wrong with me? Oh my god. Despite there being only one brain cell in my head, we finally got our Kentucky fried onions and our chunk task is complete. We are so close to finishing this chunk. There's another fletching level. One more is going to put it all together for us. Here's 78 wood cutting. One great thing about this grind is that we were able to pile on the XP. Finally, here we are at the crown jewel of this chunk, 72 fletching coming in hot. That's going to allow us to make U shields, so we're going to head down to the U tree and knock some of these last tasks off before we roll. Here we are at the U tree, time to finish this chunk off. It's going to take some time to get all of these logs, so I've sped that up for you guys so you don't have to go through the pain of watching what I had to go through. I think it took maybe 6 minutes to get all these logs. It feels like it's been a massively long time coming, but here is chunk task complete. We finally got our U shield. Wow. The sense of accomplishment after that is honestly massive. Let's take a look at how this looks. Drop that bronze square shield once and for all. And maybe not as rewarding as a gear upgrade, but this is our final task in our chunk, which means we are now onto a roll. If you've made it to this point in the video, I just wanted to give a huge thank you for coming along on this journey with me. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll our first chunk. Finally, after long last, here we are on the chunk picker. I think 3 is pretty much the only one we're looking to avoid because that comes with a massive 90 tin and copper grind. So honestly, I'd be happy with any of the other 3. Let's see where we're headed. Okay, grab the glaze and preheat the oven. We're headed to the ham hideout. What a ride the past 2 weeks have been. The feeling of completing a chunk is really matched only by the uncertainty and fear that you feel when you go to roll your next. We spent 147 hours mostly wood cutting and fletching, and it's paid off big for us as we now sit at 464 total level headed into the ham hideout chunk. If you made it to the end of the video, congratulations, you are a true gamer. If the start of this journey was up your alley, please drop a like and subscribe because we'll have much more coming soon. Until we meet again, thanks for watching. It means a lot.